One day, the three of us were just hanging out in Ozone Park. It started to rain, and we got the strange feeling like something crazy was about to go down. So the three of us just saw a safe house and said, hey, let's just go inside that house. Because, of course, when it rains and everything's about to go down, you just walk into a stranger's house, right? So in the safe house, we just happened to find Mr. Zimbrata, Mike the cop, Julia the dentist, Tommy the firefighter, Saul the lawyer, and George. Eli Manning, a pregnant girl, a Mickey Mouse girl, and Caitlin the social worker. And at the safe house, we're all just sitting down wondering, like, why is it just raining profusely out of nowhere? Because everybody just wonders that when it starts raining, right? So we turn on the news in the safe house and we see that there's a plague in New York City and there's a storm tonight. And because of the storm, the power is going to go out soon around the city. So we think to ourselves, how are we going to survive this? So the three of us are just in the house wondering, all right, how are we going to get ourselves out of this situation? We don't know anybody here, but then we all realize, oh yeah, we know Mrs. Zimbrata. So then we go out to him, hey Z, you were in the army, you were in the special forces, they must have taught you how to do something out there. So if I can remember correctly, our conversation went something like, how are we going to survive? And then he said, we go to the bridge. We need resources, capital, labor, etc. We need stuff. We all have some stuff. Check it out. And then he came to show us we have a gun with 9 bullets, a watch, a briefcase, a knife, an axe, first aid kit, a George Foreman girl, water, football gear, foam plates, toilet paper, silverware, bleach, and detergent, a master lock, road flare. Okay, Z, we should check it out.
Let's work it out. Tactically, it would take 9 days.
Okay, Z, let's make a plan. And then hours of planning later.
It sounds good, right?
You are the army tracker guy, so yeah, we'll take your word for it, Z. Fuck it, we can do it. Dun, dun, dun! So this is where our journey to survival begins. This is day 1. And we started originally at the safe house where we went into during the storm. And I know that down the block from the safe house is actually a plumbing company called Develop Plumbing and Heating. So we dropped down over there to pick up some torches for fire, some saws to cut wood, and things like that. Because nobody really expects to go to a plumbing company for these things. Most people think that plumbers only carry plungers and things to flush your toilet with. I know because people have asked me. And then we cut west to go to an archery shop that I also know is in that area. And I'm going to take the assumption that no one's going to go to the archery shop because most people are going to go to a gun store or a sporting goods store. And nobody really thinks of archery as a way of survival, but we know we can get bows and all that stuff to hunt squirrels or whatever. So we get the stuff and then we cut north. But we can't cut all the way north to the cemetery because my brother tells us we have to zigzag just to, to figure out something that's safe. So we cut west to this block right here on 89th Street, and then we realize there's a small park a little few blocks up north. So we go up north to that park to pick up some bark for fire. So we stay in the park for a few hours just to cut up some bark, and we start heading north towards the cemetery. And once we get north towards the cemetery, we find a place to camp out, and that's the end of our first day. It's time for us to rest and save our energy for the next day. This is when we arrived at the cemetery at the end of day 1. At the start of day 2, we realized that our journey from one end of the cemetery to the other end of the cemetery is going to take us 2 days. So our entire goal for day 2 is just to get from the entrance of the cemetery all the way to the lake, towards the western end of the cemetery. So we take the scenic route to avoid being caught by anybody who would want to loot us, and we eventually make our way to the lake, as you see. To our surprise, when we get to the lake, we actually run into a weird-looking scientist-type guy. That's him. And that's our group.
It is here. It's happening. The plague is here.
What kind of plague is it?
It drives people crazy and they die. It degenerates motor skills due to cognitive malfunction in the brain. And it spreads through bodily fluids.
So it makes people crazy and retarded? And you get it the same way as AIDS?
Not entirely, but if you like it like that, yes.
So it's retard AIDS?
Call it what you want. What's your bet?
So at the start of day 3, when we realized like the actual type of plague that it is and the dangers that it brings to us, we start getting ready. We start preparing. We start loading our guns. I grab my torch. Everybody put some bows on because we're ready to fight. And we leave the cemetery and we see a co-op across the street that seems to be abandoned, but we're not going to sleep inside of it. So we go inside the co-op and sleep on the roof for that night. And that was our 3rd day. By day 4, we realized things are going to get crazy, so we're all on edge. We're walking through the city slowly and zigzagging everywhere, and then we come into confrontation with an infected. So we just run into this guy out of nowhere, and he looks crazy. His eyes are all dead. He's all angry. He's foaming out the mouth, and he says, "Must fight!" And he starts chasing towards us, and we're like, "Oh my God, what are we gonna do?" And then the cop pulls out his gun, then goes, "Bang!" And he fucking shoots the guy. But you know what? It's okay that he shot him because he shot him in self-defense. And now we are so scared. We are running as fast as we can to a park where we can sleep for the night. Because we need to get the hell out of there. Like, look at us. That's the park where we're going to. That's where we were attacked. And we're just running. Look at us. We're hauling ass. And we just ran to the park to sleep for the night. And that's the start of day 5 now. Now we're in day 5 and going around the city. And then we get in another confrontation. So we pull out our bows, our arrows, our guns, our torches, and we smoke this guy. And now we're running. We realizing we have to get this done quick, or we have to start finding places to rest and hide from these guys. So we sleep for the night. Now it's day 6, and at day 6 we realize this is too intense. We have to rest for a day and figure everything out for tomorrow. So we start figuring everything out for tomorrow, and as we're walking and trying to get there by day 7 and get there early, the girl realizes, oh my God, I think my water broke. And so we have to stop for a place to see how she's doing, and then she's like, oh my God, my water broke. Zambrano's like, oh shit. The firefighter's like, I can do this. And the dentist's like, I have a medical kit. And he's like, push, you can do it. And she's like, I'm trying here, I'm trying. Ah! And the baby's born. And it's a boy. And we're like, yes, let's rest for the night just so the baby can be good. And so now we're walking slow. We could actually get here by today, but we have to walk slow. And right as we get to the end of the bridge, we're like, whatever, we'll rest for the night, and we're going to sleep by Dumbo because this girl just gave birth. The baby's crying. We don't want to get caught. So we sleep at the end of day 7. Day 8 is starting now. We're like, you know what? There's the bridge. We walk up the little thing where you do a cross and you get on the bridge, and we walk straight across the bridge, and we see the rescue team. And it's the end. We made it through. We made it. We're alive. We're all going to be safe. So then we see like the U.S. Coast Guard or the Army or whatever, and it's a shelter home. We go in the shelter, they give us food, they give us medicine, they make sure we're not infected. Turns out none of us were infected because we were all smart about everything. We all had the guidance of good survival tactics, and we survived the plague. We were helicoptered to Fort Dix, Jersey. End.